Hi everybody. In this video, we're going to look at the prime factors of a number. We'll work through two sets of examples, and then we'll try some exam style questions. And if you want to work along with me, you can download this PDF from my website. I'll leave the link in the description below. So before we can work out the prime factors, we need to understand what a prime number is. And this is a number that has exactly two factors, one and itself. So the lowest prime number will be the number 2. Its factors are 1 times 2. A common mistake here is to think that 1 is a prime number. It isn't, because it only has one factor, just 1. So the next prime number after 2 will be 3, with factors 1 and 3. What do you think the next prime number will be? So this will be 5. 1 times 5. Do you want to try and work out the next 5 prime numbers? You can pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so welcome back if you had a go. So the next prime number is 7. Then we have 11 and 13, 17 and 19. This would carry on. Okay. So now we've got the prime numbers. We're going to look at writing 60 as a product of its primes. So we create what's called a factor tree. If we've got 60, we break this down by dividing it by the lowest prime number that is a factor of 60. And this is 2. So we can divide 60 by 2. When you divide 60 by 2, we get 30. Now we carry this on. We divide 30 by the lowest prime number, which again is 2. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. Now we divide 15 by the lowest prime, which is 3. This will give us 3 times 5. And then 5 divided by the lowest prime is 5 times 1. So the prime numbers that go into 60 are 2 2's, a 3, and a 5. So as a product, we can write this as 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now we can write this using index notation, because we can write this 2 times 2 as 2 squared. Then you're multiplying it by 3 and 5. Clearly, if we had lots of 2's or lots of any one of these numbers, it's much easier to write it as a power rather than having to keep repeating it. So let's have a look at 45 as a product of its primes. Well, the lowest prime number that goes into 45 is 3. And 3 goes into 45 15 times. And then 3 goes into 15 5 times. And then 5 goes into 5 1 time. So the prime factors of 45, we've got these two 3's and we've got a 5. So we'll have 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. And you can see this works because 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 does make 45. And in index notation, or using powers, we can have 3 squared multiplied by 5. Okay? So this is how you can break down any number using its prime factors. Do you want to have a go at expressing 84 as a product of its primes in index form? You can pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so welcome back if you were to go. We'll start with 84. And because we know 84 is even, we know 2 will be a factor. And 84 divided by 2 will give us 42, which again is even. So we can divide it by 2 and we'll get 21. We can divide 21 by 3 and we get 7. Then we can divide 7 by 7, which is the prime, and we get 1. So the primes will be the 2 2's, the 3, and the 7. So as a product of its primes, we'll have 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. In index notation, 2 squared times 3 times 7. Okay, let's try example 2. So in example 2, we're given that 120 can be written in prime factor form as 2 cubed times 3 to the m times 5. We need to work out this value of m. So we start with 120 and we divide it by the lowest prime number, which is 2. And 120 divided by 2 will give us 60. Now 60 is also even. We'll divide that by 2 and we'll get 30. 30 is even. We'll divide that by 2 and we get 15. We can divide 15 by 3 to make 5. And we can divide 5 by itself to make 1. So the prime factors, and these 3 2's, the 3 and the 5. So as a product of its primes, we've got 120 will be 2 times 2 times 2 times the 3 times the 5. Now using powers, we can write this as 2 cubed, which is what we have here. And then we've got 3, or 3 to the 1, multiplied by 5. So you can see this 1 would be the power m. So therefore, m must equal 1. Okay? Do you want to try and work out the values of P, Q, and R in this question? You can pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so welcome back if you want to go. So we've got 300. We'll divide it by 2, and we'll get 150. We'll divide this by 2, and we get 75. Now 3 is a factor of 75. Goes into it 25 times. 5 is a factor of 25. That goes into it 5 times. And then 5 goes into 5 1 time. So the prime factors are 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. In index notation, this will be 2 times 2, 2 squared, times 3, or 3 to the 1, times the 5 squared. So if we match up our powers, you can see that P will be 2, this Q will be 1, and R will be 2. How did you get on with that? So in the next set of examples, we're going to try some exam style questions. So in our first exam style question, we're given that T is a product of 2 to the x times 3 times 5 to the n. And we need to write 10t in prime factor form. So do you want to give this question a go yourself? You can pause the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so welcome back if you had a go. So the key to this question is writing this 10 as a product of its prime factors, which is 2 times 5. So what we have is the 2 times 5 multiplied by this t. So times 2 to the x times 3 times 5 to the n. Now using the rules of indices, we've got 2 to the 1 here and 2 to the x here. So in total, we've got 2 to the power of x add 1. And then we've got 3. And we can use the same idea. We've got 5 to the 1 times 5 to the n. So we can add these two powers together and we'll have 5 to the power of n plus 1. How did you get on with that? Do you want to try this question? You can pause the video, and when you come back, you can check you're working with mine. Okay, so I'll come back. So if we want to write Q as a product of its prime factors in power form, then we need to begin with this 240. So we can divide it by 2 and we get 120. We'll divide this by 2 and we get 60. 2 times 30. 2 times 15. And then we get 3 times 5 and 5 times 1. So its prime factors will be 2 to the power of 4, 3 to the power of 1. Now, rather than writing 10 to the 8 as an ordinary number, what we can do is we can break 10 down into its prime factors, and we get 2 times 5. Now we're raising this 10, this 2 times 5, to the power of 8. So we'll have 2 to the 4 times 3 to the 1 times 5 to the 1. Then we can expand this out. So we've got 2 to the 8 times 5 to the 8. Now we can add these powers together. So we've got 2 to the 12. That's this 4 added to the 8 times 3 to the 1. And then we can add this power of 1 to this power of 8. So we've got times 5 to the 9. And this would be the value of Q in prime factor form. Okay? Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you want more practice on this topic, you can download the worksheet and view the online lesson from my website, mrmathematics.com. I'll leave a link in the description below.